Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack the absolutely fascinating biology behind why our skin's scent changes as we get older, and, more importantly, we're going to entirely debunk this persistent myth of poor hygiene. You know, for decades, society has basically told us that if our body odor changes as we age, we just aren't scrubbing hard enough. But the truth? It's entirely rooted in a beautifully complex, evolving internal ecosystem. Okay, let's dive right in with a super powerful insight from Dr. Daniel Hayes that really challenges our basic assumptions. The whole idea that you just need a stronger soap or a longer shower, it's backed by exactly nothing. In fact, aggressive scrubbing literally strips the skin and creates a perfect storm for the exact issues we are trying to solve. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the aging odor myth, move into the biology of 2-nonenal, upgrade that shower routine, uncover some hidden bathroom environmental traps, explore internal shifts and defenses, and finally, talk about reclaiming your confidence. Starting with part 1, the aging odor myth and debunking those old hygiene claims. Moving right into section 2, the biology of 2-nonenal, anchored by a really groundbreaking Shiseido research study. You see, millions of us are out here treating our bodies at 70 the exact same way we treated them at 30. We expect the same results, totally unaware that the structural reality of our skin is undergoing a massive transformation. Researchers in Japan made an incredible discovery that they published in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology. They found a specific compound on the skin that simply does not exist in younger adults. When the skin's natural oil layer breaks down, this compound forms. It's actually a lot like a sliced apple turning brown when it's exposed to the air. This compound is called 2-nonenal. After age 40, a specific omega-7 fatty acid increases on the surface of your skin. When it gets exposed to oxygen, it breaks down, and that oxidation is the exact mechanism that creates this distinct new scent. Now, as our internal antioxidant defenses weaken with age, this oxidation creates a distinct greasy or grassy odor. And I really want to emphasize this, it is completely separate from normal bacterial sweat. Think about the difference in our defense mechanisms. Youthful skin maintains a really robust internal system, kind of like a clean-burning engine. But as those defenses naturally decline over the years, that fatty acid is basically left unprotected against oxidation. Which brings us to section 3, upgrading your shower routine to actually adapt to aging skin. Now that we know the biochemical culprit, let's talk about how our external bathroom routines need to adapt. Because guess what? It's not just our chemistry that's changing, the physical architecture of our sweat glands is shifting too. As we age, the ducts carrying sweat become this tangled maze, trapping a thin residual film of sweat and oil in our skin folds. Picture this. At 35, your eccrine glands are like a straight, smooth highway delivering sweat right to the surface. By 60, imaging actually shows they sit closer to the surface, but become totally tangled and twisted. Just a maze of detours. A quick rinse simply won't clear that maze out. Since aging sweat glands also experience a decline in their cholinergic sweating response, which is just a fancy way of saying they react much more slowly to nerve signals, you need deliberate steps to clear out that trapped residue. So spend an extra 30 seconds of direct water contact on problem areas. Make sure to keep the water lukewarm so you don't trigger extra oil production, and use the gentle texture of a washcloth to literally lift that residue out of those aging skin folds. Aging also naturally causes our skin to become less acidic. And why does that matter? Well, your skin's natural acidity is basically like a bouncer at a club, keeping the bad bacteria out. But as we age and our skin's pH rises, using standard highly alkaline soaps, which usually sit at a pH of 9 or 10, is like throwing the club doors wide open for odor-causing bacteria to thrive, specifically one called Staphylococcus hominis. To stop that bacteria from producing a sharp, oniony smell, you absolutely must switch to a daily cleanser that's perfectly balanced in a slightly acidic pH range of 4.5 to 5.5. When Staphylococcus hominis takes over, it converts your otherwise odorless sweat compounds into thiol alcohols, and that is exactly what causes that sharp underarm smell. Switching to a cleanser in that 4.5 to 5.5 range puts the bouncer back on the door for sure and protects your thinning skin barrier. Let's shift gears to section 4. Hidden bathroom environmental traps, specifically those damp towel hazards. So let's see how all of this builds into the physical environment of your bathroom. Age-related muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, can make wringing out heavy, wet towels really difficult. If you can't fully wring out a towel, it stays damp and humid, and that acts as a direct transfer opportunity for bacteria onto your thinning skin barrier. There's a specific bacteria, Mycobacterium osloensis, that has a massive tolerance for drying out. It survives in those damp towels, multiplies, and then transfers a musty smell compound directly onto your vulnerable skin. But fixing this is super straightforward. Implementing a few simple environmental airflow and washing adjustments will protect both your skin and your scalp, which, by the way, also experiences major hormonal oil shifts. Spread your towels completely flat to dry, wash them on hot, and add a half cup of white vinegar to break down those bacterial biofilms. And hey, don't forget your scalp. As estrogen declines, androgen activity shifts the makeup of your scalp oil. Your hair basically acts like a wick for these new volatile odors, so you really need to find a washing window like every 48 to 72 hours that matches your new biology, rather than just sticking to your old habits. Moving on to Section 5, internal shifts and defenses, focusing on those sneaky metabolic changes. Next, we have to look past the surface of the skin and examine the internal metabolic shifts, because true odor control as we age, it really starts from the inside out. When you look at the big picture, it reveals the full internal story. When your body lacks hydration, your skin barrier chemistry is compromised. When your gut transit slows down, sulfur from everyday foods like garlic gets absorbed into your bloodstream and is actually released through your sweat. And the real kicker here, while all this is happening, our olfactory function, our sense of smell, naturally declines. To put this into perspective, take Carol, a 71-year-old woman who managed to completely eliminate her unfamiliar body odor simply by placing a water bottle on her bathroom counter and moisturizing daily. Her story is a beautiful reminder of the power of basic hydration and internal skin support. By drinking more water, eating more plant fiber to speed up that gut transit, and moisturizing right out of the shower to lock in that acidic pH we talked about, she completely changed her skin's chemistry. Because honestly, you cannot fix a problem you literally cannot smell. You have to build objective daily checkpoints into your routine rather than relying on an aging olfactory system. This is absolutely crucial. When people quickly label older adults with a hygiene failure, they are punishing a genuine sensory blind spot. You need to build a routine you follow by the clock, like applying deodorant and moisturizer at a set time every single day, or just ask a trusted friend for honest feedback. And finally, Section 6, reclaiming your confidence by applying this science to daily life. Let's tie all of this biology back to what really matters most: your comfort, your confidence, and your connections with others. Science is fascinating, sure, but its real value is in how it actually improves our daily lives. There's this story about Dorothy, who is 76, and it perfectly captures the emotional weight of this stigma. It really demonstrates how unexpected sensory changes can temporarily shake our confidence. A simple, innocent comment from her granddaughter about how her hugs smelled different left Dorothy with a quiet, lingering worry for weeks. It's that awful feeling of losing control over how you present yourself to the people you love most. But here is the amazing part. By utilizing the exact evidence-based biological tools we've outlined today, Dorothy completely reclaimed her natural scent and walked back into every room with her head held high. Within just 8 weeks, 2 months of balancing her cleanser's pH, prioritizing internal hydration, and applying a daily antioxidant-rich moisturizer, her hugs felt and smelled exactly like they used to. I love this quote because this perspective frames aging not as a failure, but as a real opportunity to understand a beautifully complex, evolving internal ecosystem. It removes all the blame. You haven't let yourself go, not at all. Your biology has simply entered a new chapter, and now you have the actual operational manual to support it. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a moment to consider just how much power you hold when you replace societal myths with biological truth. The transition of aging is completely natural, but living with discomfort or shame around it, that is entirely optional. So, what other myths are you ready to debunk? What else about aging is just biology waiting to be understood? Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.